right, so we're here on another Wednesday, and today, of course, is New Year's Eve. Just like last week on Christmas Eve, I'm going to do a really quick live and just talk a little bit about things that have been posted. So this week, I'm just posting a little bit about design and the way things are designed in different parts of the world and things like that. And since Pages Dale is all about trying to get people to travel, but travel in ways that include learning and having a good time, learning more about whether it be the history or the culture, or really just learning more about themselves as they travel. That's kind of the way things are designed, the way that they are with the mini itineraries. So I'm finishing up the year talking about design because Pages Dale, I think, has a little bit of a unique instructional design aspect to it. So some of the topics that come up, some of the topics that are talked about are maybe like a little surprising or things like that. And I think Christmas time in particular, for many, can ignore the more difficult parts of the holiday season. So I wanted to take on the challenge of inviting those who find Christmas time to be kind of not so joyous, because I'm someone who during Christmas time, I don't know why, a lot of people feel down during Christmas time. And I think it's partly because everyone's expected to be, like so jolly and happy all the time. So I wanted to acknowledge the holiday season with the first week. Kind of normally, holiday season, I talked about Ayn Rand just because some of her books came to mind. And it was a way to talk about the holiday season without being really specific about any one holiday. And then the short story talking about an explosive celebration, right? I mean, opening up gifts, unwrapping gifts, turning on lights, doing things, the idea of things spreading, like joy spreading and things like that. So it's not, they're not concepts that are unusual for the holiday season, and they're not meant to be concerning. It's just looking at Christmas from a holistic view, including those who really enjoy and really feel welcomed and really feel warm and cozy. And then those who feel kind of a little cold during Christmas time, whether it's like the Grinch or whether it's like Scrooge and things like that. It's also a big part of the holiday season to look at different perspectives. So that's what I did. I had 3 different weeks to kind of play with 3 different perspectives on the holiday season. Might be something that I need to work on for years coming. But having 3 weeks to talk about the holiday season and look at it from different perspectives is something that I enjoyed doing, but it was probably the most challenging in terms of making decisions and accepting that there might be some questions or maybe some surprises, but there's nothing there that's meant to be communicated outside of the multiple perspectives that are had and that come from Christmas time. But that's just the way Christmas time is. If you talk about Christmas, past, present, and future, also with gift giving, a lot of times, we just kind of give the gifts these days, but historically, there are 3 perspectives to a gift, or 3 perspectives for gifts being given historically or traditionally, for purpose, for discipline, and then for entertainment or joy or something like that, for pleasure. So the 3 weeks of the holiday season, we're supposed to be thinking of it very generally in that way. So we're thinking about it being joyous, it being purposeful, but also being a little disciplinary. So the Joker aspect was a little disciplinary. And then the design and also the first week are kind of more thinking about, the purpose and, the pleasure and things like that. So, yeah, that's what that was. And so this week, I'm just talking about the way different places are designed because I'd already set it up where I talk about a person, a city, a country, and then a global statistic. So finishing this up, it's a little different when I don't have the same type of theme, but because we're doing a redesign of 3 different itineraries, we're going to just talk about design. So again, the itineraries that I chose to talk about, the 5 itineraries, are ones that were talked about earlier. And partially they were chosen because they pick up on a wide range of people's interests and they hit on different types of themes. So for Instagram, we're coming around here. And for the profile, we'll click here. And let me go ahead and share my screen. Give me 1 second. Up. So culinary education, that's kind of just not being violent or anything like that, right? Vision and reading, that's what we've been talking about the whole year. This was really early on in the year, but early on within this design system that I had. We have the gardening book, right? Gardening's good for anyone at any age. It's great. It's a great activity to get into. We have football. Football season's really a big deal right now, so we're back to the football season. And then bicycles. So it's just kind of like the year is like a calendar. It's like a cycle. So it's also just kind of like bye, but also we have bicycles. All right. And it's also, where 2 years come together, you have the back wheel and the front wheel. We're at a transition period right now where we're going from 2025 to 2026. So what does that look like? How do they kind of work together to push us forward? And you can set that up by design. How can we use this time to kind of blend the 2 years together while also understanding that they're 2 different years? So, yeah. If we're going with the same sort of a pattern that we've been going through or using this whole time, then we would be redesigning the gardening book. So the gardening book, yeah, flowers, things like that. Good. When things are open to interpretation, they're open to interpretation. So I cannot manage how everyone initially interprets things, but what that does, it is allows everyone to engage in their own way. So that's why I like having these lives. Maybe next year I could do more frequent short videos to kind of explain what I'm thinking about everything, so people don't have to go so long with their own conclusions and interpretations and things like that. And I can do more regular videos. But the videos are good to kind of explain, okay, this is how these things are fitting together from where I'm sitting, the person who's posting everything. But whenever something's new, some are going to project different, ideas or concepts depending on what they're used to looking for or how they already kind of define where what they're looking for is. So I think some concerns are that the posts are like concerning us, like what is all this? How does this? What does this all mean? Because maybe social media and just digital media, things like that, for many people associated with just questions and concerns and things like that. So it's kind of easy to maybe lump that into that. But what this really is just a bunch of different topics for people to get interested in looking deeper into, whether it is by going to the book or by going and doing the travel activity, mixing them together, or even just taking the general topic altogether and seeing if they're interested in, making it into a hobby or something like that. Because there are workshops, and sometimes a workshop might be listed, but someone can just start a hobby at home instead of necessarily going to a workshop. So, yeah, pretty much just welcoming everyone. Christmas is, I mentioned magic here. So, Christmas is known for being a magical time. Lucky Charms are known for being magically delicious. That's it. They're just including very common ways of referring to experiences that people have. So let's see if I can find this in the document that I created for today. Oh. All right, so this is actually not the document. These are the questions that I talked about today. I talked about China. I talk about China quite a bit. China, good infrastructure, good design. But I've talked about many countries. I think I would like to use what I did this year to try to do an upcoming year differently, right? So I'd like to make sure that I do pretty much cover every country. I can talk about well, no, actually, no, I can't. I might be able to talk about every country if I talk about cities and countries, right? Even still, I wouldn't be able to talk about, anyway. I could find a way to include every country in the world throughout the year at some point, more intentionally. So I might need to, I don't know, take a break in a sense next year. Probably do the same thing, but allowing myself to do the same thing I did this year, but then make the year after that much more well thought out. Who knows? Who knows? I know it starts tomorrow, but yeah, I'm going to take a couple weeks off at the beginning of the year and then get back to it, kind of like I did last year. Because last year I posted the new schedule on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So I might do something similar, something like that. All right. So, yeah, let's get this itinerary. We had the year recap. So just trying to wrap up the year by revisiting some of the itineraries. I think it gives it a nice feel. So this one is, wait. Okay, so I have them online differently than I have them here, but that's fine. So, the gardening book. Gardening is something everyone around the world can get into. Large scale, small scale. So, I think gardening's good. I'm not entirely sure how we can do this one differently, though. Should I show the edits? Oh. So I should edit it like I use short stories. So again, there are so many decisions that need to be made. So just like I'm kind of asking how I should do things, I use cards to help me decide. Yeah. People use different ways to kind of take off the burden of making so many decisions in different ways. One method that's more common is getting dressed in the morning. Many people have a uniform. Like they kind of wear the same thing every day so that they don't have to worry about making those decisions. Other people do meal prep. They don't have to worry about what to eat for dinner. So I take that same idea, but I apply it to putting these itineraries together and other things. And yeah, so I have the deck of cards kind of help me reflect on things and kind of move myself along so I don't spend too much time on any particular questions that I have. It's not a hard and fast rule. I mean, sometimes if I get a particular card, then I can find a way to think about it more, maybe ask the question differently, things like that. But I think I'm interested in allowing the original design to be shared along with the new design. Similarly to how I do the drafts with the short stories. With that in mind, I'm going to copy this and paste it into a Google Slides document. So that way, I'm using this situation because the shape of these slides is closer to that of the itinerary than the other slides. Great. So we'll grab this one, put it where it belongs. This is bigger than it should be, but that's okay. I can make it smaller. And then we can bring these over where they should be. I think this one's here. Oh, no, that's the logo. Alrighty then. I think this is logos. Yes. So I just need to make them a bit larger. Make this smaller. Oh wow. Okay. So we have Divine Miracle Garden. Deciding how to do this. Let's see. I'm thinking about green ink instead of red ink. Yeah, so I'm going to do green. I'm not going to think about it. It's so hard. Let's just say maybe do something with New Year's resolution. Not necessarily. Beginner's gardening workshop. What about if I just focus on courses in general? Yeah. So let's do Joe Gardner online, beginning gardener fundamentals. Or if he has other courses. All right, great. So they have 2 different courses. Gardening in America, or for ecological gardening. Ecological gardening. Over 114 million American households engage in gardening, from public green spaces to community gardens to private yards. Gardening is a crucial part of our country's culture. The garden is a living ecosystem that impacts the health of people, plants, animals, and environment. Ecological gardening is designed to share ecologically and sound gardening methods and practices that promote sustainability in your own gardens. Yeah, let's do this one. Ecological gardening course. This is with American could just say ahsgardening.org. $8 for the book. Let's say register for the course. Register for the course and ooh. Right. So this is one thing that I could do differently, right? The activity would be specific to the theme, right? Oh man. I think it's still good that I have the itinerary. That'll be fine. I'll also end this slide. Register for the course. Design. Let's see the complete guide to garden success. Design a garden for you and your family's needs. Design a garden for you and your family's needs. Design a garden for design a garden. Something related to the new year. Design a garden. All right. Design a garden to help you feel complete all year. To help you feel complete all year. All right, so we're done. This is it for today. And for this year, So I hope everyone has enjoyed this year of itineraries, this year's calendar. I'll probably make a post advertising when or if next year's calendar will be posted. And when, if at all, I'll be going live on Wednesdays. Perhaps I'll start doing more frequent but shorter videos to explain the itineraries as I go along, so there won't be so many questions about how they fit together and things like that. So thanks for watching, thanks for joining, and until next reach out, keep it loud.